You can play.
I can.
Okay. I'm here with Myopia in the Queen Street Brew House to talk about your album and how the band's going with Myopia. And I've got Elliot on drums.
Hello there, how you doing?
Okay. And Ollie on guitar.
Hello.
And vocals, of course.
And vocals.
And
Yes.
Sweet vocals. Right, well, look, let's dive straight into it. Just talk about the band, first of all, which is the sort of dynamic between you two. Because as a band, of course, we think of you as a three-piece. But you two are generally in the picture. We see you two online. I know bass players you've had a bit of trouble sort of getting those as well. What's that? How does the dynamic work between you two?
When it comes to like live performances, usually Elliot's a very busy man, and honestly, with all of it, I kind of just basically sit at my desk. It's very close to my face. It's fine.
It is very close.
Yeah, I look at it while I talk to it. I spend all my time doing it and kind of orchestrating all the stuff with it, and I then go, "Oh, Elliot, we've got this song. Do you want to play this song?" And then it's usually just me orchestrating it, and Elliot kind of going, "Oh yeah, we'll do that," offering some little bits and stuff. Probably best for you to explain because you see it from the outside.
Do you mean by orchestrating writing?
Yeah. So this album and the songs in it, most of them, probably 90% of them, have just been me like sat at the studio. But all of the kind of finer bits and actually all the drumming, like I even like programmed some of the drumming and then go, "Elliot, can you play this?" And he changes some bits. Like the drumming on the album is like human dynamics, so it's got Elliot's actual drumming on it, but then it's kind of like multiple versions of that kind of come together, and I've spent a lot of time kind of mixing it all up and putting it together and stuff. Go on, Elliot.
We've always said in an ideal world that we'd want to both be doing it together all the time, but unfortunately, until it becomes financially viable, that's not going to happen. And I work full time, and Ollie's just obsessed with music, so Ollie does all the writing, all the producing. As he says, he'll write the drum parts and I'll learn the drum parts, and then that's how it works, and obviously do them live. But yeah, that's just how we've worked for the last 5-6 years since.
And in terms of promotion, you're generally online more?
I'm usually the face of our social media, which I've got to contribute somehow. But yes, as someone who did a lot of talking on radio and TV at uni, I'm a little bit more used to the public speaking than Ollie is. Right. So
it's vital. Yeah. If you weren't doing it, I don't think I'd be doing it. I don't think I can like sit there and just like, hi guys. I don't know how you do it, but without your contribution to that, then obviously none of it would be happening. Same, my dad does a lot of work. If he wasn't part of it, this wouldn't be happening either. I might do all the stuff that you hear, but everything else happens because of the like Elliot and my dad.
Something's gone wrong, isn't it, when your dad's more active online than you?
Yeah. I need to start doing my own page, but every single time we have a gig, I'm like, right, I'm going to use it now. I'm going to start doing it now. I write something, and then I go, fuck, I'm going to do like a Myopia post, and then I don't, and then I kind of rush that out, and then I'm all like bored of writing captions because it's really hard to be genuine every single time you talk about it, especially when it's like a caption, because it's obviously a print and there's no intonation in voice and none of that. So, and I just kind of cocoon away from it and go write some more songs. Yeah. And then
it's like speaking into a vacuum a bit, isn't it?
Yeah.
So when you do your post, you're just talking to nobody, and you don't really know how to sort of posit that. I've just got to talk about success, because obviously bands. Strange thing is, there's always this idea of there's an end game normally, isn't there? Which is you're trying to get somewhere. What's your sort of idea of success? How would you know you'd sort of got somewhere?
I think obviously full time would be a good start. Actually earning decent money from doing it and nothing else would be a first kind of step. Like, holy shit, we've like, we've kind of made it to an extent. I mean, you can play Wembley. Like that's probably that's the top, isn't it? You can obviously headline festivals and stuff. Headlining a festival would be the most awesome thing. I think there wouldn't be much further to go after that, because that's an honour to do that. Yeah. But O2, I really want to play the O2. That's my kind of dream. We've said when we play our first gig to 2,000 people, that's our show. Elliot's going to dye his hair pink.
And that agreement was made about 5 years ago.
Yeah. So I was very drunk at the time.
Yeah, I don't know why I agreed to it, but so far we have avoided a crowd that large. So hopefully it will happen, and then I will have to do it. I
mean, the weird thing about success, of course, is it's always something greater than where you are. So although you can put a marker in, like you could say that last gig was a moment of success, wasn't it? It was the culmination of the album. But there's always something else, isn't there? There's always something beyond. So success is kind of hard to measure, isn't it? Really?
And we love doing all of these gigs that we're doing. So it's not like we're, obviously we'd like to make it big. We like to get to that top level at some point, and you never know, it might happen, and you don't know when it's going to happen. But we love playing at Coda and Three Wise Monkeys, and a bit further afield we do other regular places as well. So, but when you fill out Coda with like 150 people, that's like, and I know we haven't experienced the massive stadium gigs yet, but that's just as big a thrill as I'm sure the bigger gigs are.
To have a crowd.
To have a crowd and have people there enjoying your music and knowing they're there for you, and just seeing people having a good time. That's brilliant.
So we saw you on Friday. I say we.
Yes.
I saw you on Friday for the Mime Party release. So I feel so sorry for the fact the album didn't come out. So the two things didn't collide. But never mind. It is imminently coming out. What I noticed was that it's hard to do that album live. I know you were really brave, did the whole thing, which is fantastic. I love to hear the whole album, just in one stretch. But that must be a frustrating thing for you to try and reproduce that live. That is hard.
I think the hardest part is the actual running order of the album, because there were, I think there's 2 songs that we'd never played live before, which is literally the first and the last track. And that last track, as I said, and I've said like a few times in different situations, like I wrote it like 6 years ago and I just couldn't do it. It was impossible to sing, it was impossible to, and now I can do that, that's great, and it's got its place at the end of the album, and it's perfect for it. But that one I think we're going to do again, because that was a lot of fun. The first one was, we had to do it, and also we played Hibiscus properly for the first time as well, which I think sounded alright. That was kind of fun.
Well,
again,
beautiful song.
yeah. Well, usually we're acoustic playing it because it's mostly a dance track, but I don't know if we'll do that again either, because our set list, we now want to start doing 45 minutes again rather than try and do 2 hours. But yeah, playing the album start to finish was it was very difficult, because the album's very dramatic, and because of that there's lots of power
and multi-layers.
Exactly, and that gets, especially in a smaller venue, and trying to sing for that long, that hurts quite a lot. But if we played the album in a random order, it would have been a lot easier. Not random, but like a different order.
Do you think that, Elliot, that there's sort of room for expansion within the band, as in membership, in order to, or would that kill off the sort of the heart of the band, do you think?
No, we've always seen ourselves as a 3-piece. Like we want a permanent third person there just for consistency. And we've had bassists in the past, and for whatever reason, it's not worked out long term. So we are looking at adding a third member to the band. And I think that will make things a lot easier, because as much we had 4 different bassists, didn't we, at Coda the other night, which is great and really fun, and I loved it, and I love all of the bassists we played with. But when you get to that higher level, you need someone who knows all the tracks all the way through, and we can practice with them consistently and regularly. So ideally we want to be a 3-piece again, but until we find the right fit, then. And
also you've got this thing, haven't you, where you don't have a bass player who has a style that works in the 3. What you're doing is writing bass parts and then asking someone to play them, which is not the same as having a bass player, is it? That's just like session kind of stuff.
I mean, when it comes to like having a bass player, I think the bar was set pretty high with our bass player that started all this, lots of bass, because it's when he basically left for reasons, and he was perfect at the vocals and perfect at performing with me, and we bounced off each other really well, and he was really, really good to play with. He was really, really fun to be around, and taking away all the reasons why it didn't work out, that's kind of the bar, and that's where we're looking.
What about Alice? She's a good fit. She's your girlfriend.
She's pretty good. No, yeah, she's up for it. She's asking pretty much every day. Oh, maybe I should do it. I'm like, maybe. we'll talk about it later. And then
that must be a tricky conversation.
Yeah, no, she gets it. No, it's not. If that's what I've said to like Sam Young and Chris and everyone. It's like, a big part of it is if we start to succeed more, and we get maybe picked up by a label, and they go, okay, you need a bass player, and they might go, well, you should go with them. You should pick Alice, because that works for what we're going to try and promote you as. or they might go, here's this person, join that. Obviously that's not really how we want to do it, but we don't also just want to pick for the sake of picking.
No, but also there's a visual aspect to having a female in the band as well.
Yeah,
It changes things slightly. Can I just ask you about your song Stardust?
Yes.
Because what you did on Friday was this incredible guitar break. You broke the song into 3 parts. You had the start, then you did this amazing instrumental section, and then you ended. But we don't hear you on the album doing this. It was so exciting. I thought, where's that on the album?
That's... there was a big bass solo in the set, and Stardust is, we really don't I don't enjoy playing Stardust live at all, because it's very, very, there's loads and loads of layers in Stardust.
Very high.
Yeah, and it's just not comfortable.
No.
And it's not, and I can't, it's the most annoying thing is I can't put energy into it, because I have to sing really soft, and I have to
What idiot wrote that?
exactly, yeah, it's like, come on. Yeah. But having that, having a moment to do a bit of a guitar solo adds a bit of drama to the live performance, and also gives me a little break. So it doesn't give you a break. It ruins him. You see him in the back.
I was shattered by the end of Stardust, and that was only the 5th song in the album. So I was
You're a really technical drummer, though. I mean, you're spot on. The whole gig, it was crazy.
spot on is a bit too kind, but I've certainly got better. And the thing is, as I say, I work full time, so I don't get to practice as much as I'd like to. So it's quite intermittent, my drum rehearsals. So some songs are better than others. Like some of the songs we played on Friday, I only practiced for the first time with Ollie.
Right.
Since like initially going over and writing and recording and whatever. First time I played them for like 2 years. Even touched them for 2 years, so that's why it was a bit tricky, some of them, compared to others that we do every gig. Well, World is So Loud, Movements, Universe we've done a couple of times, Hibiscus we've never done it like that before, so I wasn't used to it, even though it's quite a simple song. But anyway,
Are you conducting your own interview here?
yeah, I think we are. Yeah. Stop asking me questions on it.
Can I ask you about the album? Yes. I mean, when I had listened through, the first thing that struck me is it's so long. I mean, that album is a long album, and I mean, what were you thinking about? What do you think about that?
No.
Ollie can't write short songs.
I can't. I can.
Well, there's 14 tracks and they're all 5 minutes or so.
Yeah, so the first album was 12 tracks and an hour and 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And the average song length in that album was like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Now it's 4, which is way better, because 4 minutes is I think it's just over. It's like 4 minutes and 20 seconds or something. But I really want to write like a 10-track, 45-minute album at some point. But we've already started talking about the next one, and the first 2 songs are already 10 minutes. So we'll see. But no, I just
a 4-track album.
yeah. No, I just I don't know. I don't feel like there's any need to not do it that way at the moment. Like, we've got the singles that are short enough for the promotional aspect, but that's the kind of music that we like playing. So why would we kind of shorten it just for effect? And it's a long album, but it's also not like an hour-long album is what I always used to think was normal.
Right.
Obviously nowadays it's usually like 35 minutes, but
Well, the thing is that you were in a bit of a dilemma, if I can tell you what your dilemma was, which is if you'd done a 40-minute album, that would have just been the singles or something, wouldn't it? So in a sense, you wanted to get the singles on there, didn't you?
Yeah.
And new material, which pushes it, doesn't it, beyond an album length, really.
Yeah.
Do you think?
I just think that Ollie is so imaginative and creative and has these huge ideas, and the songs that you write just work the length that they are. Like a song like Movements that has so much progression and building in it, it wouldn't work if it was a 3-minute song.
Yeah, so Angel System too. It's like doing a radio edit of that would mean parts of the song wouldn't be in it.
Is that the one with the piano middle part?
No, Angel System is the first single we dropped in April.
Right.
It's 4 minutes and 40 seconds, but if you take out, it's not got a verse chorus structure. So cutting it would mean it wouldn't go together, because everything goes into each other. It's just lots of sections. It's like, do you know the song Nights of Sardonia by Muse?
Yes.
So that song changes key every few bars,
Right.
and you can't shorten that, because then it would just be out of tune.
Yeah.
So, and it's the same. It's not about the key, but it's like
It has to sort of
Yeah,
resolve.
it has. Yeah. Like we can shorten. Hibiscus we could shorten, but again it would be taking a section out. You know.
The thing is, you shouldn't be shortening stuff.
No.
Because people find it more palatable. That's the problem, isn't it? Is you're sort of appealing to an audience, but at the same time sort of getting your own way, I suppose.
You do sometimes feel like you're more likely, I think, to have a successful song that reaches, say, more like radio stations if it's shorter. Like a 3-minute song is probably what they're looking for, and that's fair enough. And you know, we like Supreme is our most popular and most listened to song. Yes, it's been out the longest, but also it's one of the best songs we've released, and a lot of people say that, but that's a 3-minute song. So you know, so it's almost like we've ignored the secret to success. And but I completely agree with what we're doing. I think you know, if a song works and it's 5 minutes, then keep it at 5 minutes. Don't necessarily just do something for the sake of it potentially appealing to, you know, a few more people. But like you say, we could at one stage write an album where the songs are much shorter and see how it gets on. But we're not going to do it for the sake of it. Yeah.
That was a long answer. That suits it really well, the question. Why is the album so long? Talk us through the sort of drama of this album, because obviously track by track we'd be here all night. Just like if you were to go across the sort of schema of emotions here, what sort of roller coaster are we in for here?
Well, it's called Mind Party because I wanted it to be almost overwhelming with, like a content look at kind of mind chaos, and not looking at it negatively but still talking about stuff that's usually talked about negatively. And the album is just big production. It's meant to be something that is overwhelming in parts, and is my dad said there's no quiet songs, and she's like, that's true, even the quiet ones have a lot of energy at the end. And it's I don't know, it's I wanted, as I said, I wanted it to be something that was overwhelming, and I wanted it to be, I want to have a story that's just like, this is changing, what's going on here, like all this kind of stuff. But I think I've only realised that that's the case because to me that's normal. But then people go, wow, it's all over the place like this and this and this. I'm like, isn't that how it's supposed to be? So no, usually albums are all, they're just one song times 10 or whatever. And I've never thought of it any other way.
Well, I think, a 10-track album normally is just individual tracks, all with a completely different meaning, a different subject matter. Yours, there are threads that kind of run through it, which I think you've dropped in things that kind of, they almost mirror other tracks, especially at the end, when you talk about the gun to my head thing, which is a fantastic end to the album. I wonder whether that kind of sums up the album, that final line.
The last lyric of the album is mind.
Oh, was that deliberate then?
Yeah, that was it was almost accidental, and then I was like, what lyrics should I put in? It came out, I was like, whoa, look at that. Yeah, no, I wanted it, again, it ends quite abruptly.
It does, but with the cello part afterwards.
Yeah, no, that was inspired by the last scene in Infinity War, the Avengers film, because there's this thing where like Thanos is just sat, but after snapping his fingers or whatever, and then it's like this cello part that's really unsettling and really kind of like, and then that's just the end of the film. I was like, I want to do that. So
I get the impression, looking from the first album to the second, that this is a real shift in sort of confidence. Like, if you listen to that album and then listen to the next one, you need a day, obviously, to get through them both. That was a joke. You won't need a day. Nearly a week. There's a definite shift in the confidence, in the way in which you get the confident feel from listening to them. It seems like you're more at home with this album, would you say, Elliot?
And I think Ollie's abilities with producing music have improved drastically since the first album. Even though the first album was brilliant, you can just hear little things throughout this album that are better quality, and I think that's just enhanced the whole production of it. But yes, I think the album for me, and I don't know if you heard the conversation I had with Ollie recently, where we just discussed every song on the album between us.
I couldn't listen. The reason why is because I've written your review. I thought this is going to undermine everything I've just said. In a way, it's dangerous talking to you about the album because
But it was like, for me, as I've said, I'm not as involved in the writing process as Ollie is, because obviously every idea that you hear and everything that you hear comes from his head.
Right.
But as someone, it's funny because I am part of the band, but I often see myself as an outsider, as a fan a lot of the time, because I hear a lot of the stuff that he writes.
Yeah.
And it just like often blows my mind. And then I've got to think, I've got to learn this.
I'm in the band.
Oh damn, okay. But it's just the meaning in the lyrics and the power of the music combined throughout this whole album is just such it's so powerful, and we've progressed from the first album, and I think it's only upwards from here. And
I think there are moments of pure, I was going to say sublimity, I don't know if that's a word, like sublime moments where you just, when you hear something you just think, like, that wasn't written by human, that was so lovely. There are moments on that album that are just perfectly placed, and especially, the short Mind Party song, it's like a round, isn't it? It seems like it's never going to end, and then you reprise it in the next song. It kind of sews itself into the next song. It's very clever, that. Can you tell me about Myopia, like, going forward? Because of course this is like it's like a pause, isn't it? It's like you've run the 100 metres. You've got, the album will be out. Yeah. It's written. People have heard it. You've done the opening gig. What sort of happens now?
But I think basically we're taking like a month to just kind of let it simmer and exist. I see a lot of the stuff that's actually planned. Again, I was saying earlier, my dad knows way more about that than I do. Like, I know that we've got. I think we're doing we were going to do like a mini tour in October, November, but now we're just doing those gigs anyway and actually doing it in January. So we're doing a mini tour in January. In October, November, we're just playing a few gigs. In January, we've also got. This is probably not public knowledge yet, actually, but we've got.
You don't have to say anything you don't want.
No, I just realised we haven't spoken about it yet, but there's a.
It's news to me as well.
There's a little extra project that I wrote while I was writing this album that's sort of linked to it, and that's something that's gonna be in January and stuff. Yeah.
So Tyler Baker did something similar. Yeah. He had a sort of EP that came out roughly alongside the same time as the first album. Is it a bit like that, sort of extra bits?
Yeah. I think. With if everything went exactly how we wanted it to, like at the end of the process of Mind Party, which would probably be like April, May, like next year, which is when it would be like, okay, this isn't a new album anymore, it's just our current album. We kind of wrap it up with like a deluxe version with like some extra little bits and some live recordings and stuff, and then move forwards. But yeah, I think it's just press runs now. It's just get everyone we can who wants to help, and the money that we do have, send it to people that can give us some publicity and all that. Obviously they're all on hold because it's not out yet, but I sent them a very angry email, just like, you're costing us money, sort this out. But I don't think that they would just go, we understand your concern, we'll be right with you. It's like,
You should have set Elliot on them, because he's not in the band. I mean, he hasn't got any. He's got time.
And I'm very scary and intimidating.
You are terrifying.
Well, look, thank you very much for joining me in the Brew House to talk about the album. It's so nice to finally catch you as well, obviously, not just as a live performance. Fantastic, and we'll see you again soon.
Absolutely, yeah. Good to see you.
Thank you very, very much. Thank you.